Hey, I'm back. To those who are new, welcome to my channel, Hope Speaks. To those who know me, welcome back. I'm Dania. My middle name is Esperanza, which means hope. And today I'm sharing something deeply personal. The story behind the 7K in my channel name. The 7 keys that changed my life. And the real scientific research behind messages from loved ones who have passed on. You might think experiences with past loved ones are rare, but according to a major national survey by the Pew Research Center, nearly half of Americans, 44%, say they felt the presence or received a message from someone who died in just the last 12 months. And 53% say they've experienced it at some point in their lives. Dreams are the most common form of communication. And a study published in 2014 found that about 58% of people who lost someone they loved report having at least one vivid dream of the deceased. And most say the dream helped them heal, feel comforted, or make sense of their grief. Other studies show that these experiences, called after death communication or ADCs, often reduce anxiety, help people cope with trauma, and make them feel less alone. In fact, people who report these dreams or signs often show better emotional recovery after loss. No matter what your beliefs are, spiritual, religious, or psychological, researchers agree on one thing. These experiences are real to the people who have them. They're incredibly common, and they often happen during times of stress, transition, or when a message is needed most. And now I want to share my own experience. The moment my grandfather reached across time, across countries, and across worlds to give me a message. This moment is the reason my channel is called Hope Speaks 7K. I was very close to my grandfather growing up. When I was a baby, I was left in their care in the Dominican Republic, and the bond we had stayed with me even after I came to the United States. My grandfather passed away when I was 7 years old. I lived in the Bronx in New York City. He was in the Dominican Republic, and losing him left a space in my heart that has never fully closed. Years later, after I became a mother of 4, something happened that I still can't explain. One morning, I woke up around 5 a.m. It was during a very hot summer. It was still dark out, and I got up and opened up the window. When I went back to sleep, I had a very vivid dream with my grandfather. It felt like he was right here with me. I was a little girl in the dream, but it felt so real. As soon as I opened my eyes, I heard my father's car pulling up to the front of my house. I was excited because I wanted to tell him about my dream. But instead, he said he couldn't stay and he only came to deliver something. He said my grandfather came to him in a dream and that he was told to give me a gift. And then my father handed me 7 keys. And he told me, don't tell anyone about these keys. Keep them with you at all times. The timing, the dream, the arrival, the message, all of it felt like more than a coincidence. To help me understand the symbolism, my friend and business attorney Dante J. Gianmarco wrote me a letter after several days of meditating on the meaning of the keys. Another miraculous thing was that Dante has the same exact Bible in his office. So when we had the meeting and he asked me to bring my mysterious Bible, which is this one right here, it's all destroyed. he had, I bought the Bible again because I knew that one was on its way out. It's tearing apart. And this is the one that he had. So he brought his Bible and put it on the table. And then I had brought my Bible and put it on the table. And this is what they were like. Basically, one is a much older model and the other one is a newer model. So I thought that that was another incredible and crazy coincidence. So I'm going to read the letter that he sent me via email. Dear Dania, I have meditated on the question of the 7 keys and what they represent. Three are car keys, 2 house keys, and 2 strong box keys. Here is a possible interpretation. Cars represent both transportation and freedom of movement according to the Catholic Church. There is heaven, purgatory, and hell. As with a car, we choose our direction and how we use our free will. The decisions we make supposedly will determine where we go after death. Heaven, purgatory, or hell. That is the traditional Catholic viewpoint. The keys may therefore reflect the travel throughout life and the choices we make to take us there, the destination we choose for ourselves. The house keys, according to some theologians of the Middle Ages, there are 2 gates of heaven, the main gate of those who go to heaven directly after death, and a small gate for those who have served their time in purgatory. Remember, the Catholic faith, purgatory was like a prison for those who were not perfect enough for heaven. It was a way for their souls to be purified so they could attain heaven. Thus, the celebration of All Souls Day, prayers for the dead to reduce their time in purgatory, and the sales of various types of indulgences or going on a particular pilgrimage or crusade. The keys could represent the lock to each of the 2 gates. The 2 strongbox keys are 2 treasures of heaven, everlasting life. Video got cut off, so I have to start with the other side. The 2 strongbox keys are 2 treasures of heaven, everlasting life, and the presence of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These keys could represent access to these great gifts which God has given to human beings. I will continue to try to determine if there is another interpretation which logically could apply. In the meantime, the interpretation fits the traditional Catholic metaphysical viewpoint which your grandfather and grandmother would have learned as children. The keys are thus a mechanism to help you through life to remember where home truly is. The great treasures which awaits you and your choices through the travels of life will determine which road you will be on. The keys are important as symbolic reminders. I suspect they have no independent meaning or lead to other worldly values. I will keep looking. I will address other matters shortly. Sincerely, Dante J. Gianmarco. Now let's bring it all together. Whether you interpret these keys spiritually, symbolically, culturally, or psychologically, here's the truth I've learned. The people who love us don't disappear. The guidance doesn't stop. The protection doesn't stop. The connection doesn't stop. Sometimes they speak in dreams. Sometimes they speak through timing. And sometimes they hand us 7 keys. So why does this matter in coping with today's stress, government, economy, healthcare? I know many of us right now are overwhelmed with the economy, the government, the cost of living, and everything happening in the United States. We are carrying fear, pressure, and uncertainty. But messages like the one I received remind us of something powerful. You are not going through this alone. Our ancestors survived wars, dictatorship, poverty, crisis, chaos, migration, and they still found ways to send us love. If they protected us then, they protect us now. When the world feels unstable, Spiritual connections can bring us grounding. When the government feels unpredictable, faith and family can give us consistency. When the system feels like it's failing, the love that came before us reminds us that we are built to survive. Your loved ones, your ancestors, your memories, these can be some of the greatest sources of strength when everything else feels uncertain. So that's the story behind Hope Speaks. The 7 keys that found me when I needed guidance the most. The dream that connected 2 generations, and the science that shows I'm not alone. None of us are. If you've ever received a message from someone who passed on in a dream, a feeling, a sign, or an object, I invite you to share your story in the comments. Your story might be the hope that someone else needs right now. Thank you for watching till the end. Thank you for supporting this channel, and remember, Hope speaks if you're willing to listen.